schuift, dan kan je altijd, als we zo niet aan een eet, dan kan jij later gaan eten, dat je niet vroeger kan maken. Maar dat is nog wel.
Welcome back to the next part that we are going to do, the next section, and that is billing and billing corrections. Now, just to go back through a quick view that we are just going to show you again, we're going to say making a booking. So let's take the 12:15 slot, double click, you choose the correct type, then you say yes, the patient is booked. You choose your patient. If the patient is already having an electronic file, you save. If the patient doesn't have electronic file, you create one by just typing in the name and the surname and then say data add. Now from here we've went to clinical. We've created all the clinical information for this patient, created medical history if it was the first time the patient was here, or update medical history if you need to. Okay. Then now the billing part. So if you click on the patient, you say the patient has arrived, reception has done everything, uploaded the documents, validate this patient, all of the information is still correct, everything is ready. So then they click on ready, and the doctor knows this patient is available, ready to be seen. Now if you're emergency department, you're going to work on the staff by status, and then it's not going to be arrived, but it's going to be triage and not booked. So your status will immediately be triage, and then you choose orange, green, yellow, depending on what type of status this patient must have. Okay. So now I'm going to make it time slot overlap again. It doesn't matter on which way you're working. You click on the booking and you say invoice. Then from here you have your invoice details, you have your patient details and your main members details. It also shows latest there was an invoice done on this patient, the latest one, so the previous invoice that was done with the amount and the codes that were used, and if you hover over it, it will show you the description of that items or the procedure that you have done. Now here you can see the different types of all of the patients. You have your rooms, your service centers that will pull through from your booking site. But if you didn't fill it in or it has changed, you can here change it. Then your treating doctor, you have your date. It will come from your working list or from your diary. Then you have your referring doctor. If there is authorizations that you need, the authorization that you have put in, you can click on the plus, you can create a new authorization, so you say add, you type in the authorization code, you type in the date, the description, and if the medical aid did give certain procedures or certain items that is approved, you can put it in here and then you can say save. The authorization will pull through into your invoice screen with the authorization number then. Then you have the tariff rates. Now this rate is linked to your medical aid. So depending on what type of medical aid this patient is on, you will then definitely, that tariff rate will pull in. Now if you have private rates, please make sure that GoodX have your private rates, that we can put it into the system, and then when you put the patient on a private, as a private patient, the system knows which tariffs to use. Now, say for instance, some practices will say the private rate is linked to BestMed. I'm using BestMed tariff rates, or I'm using Discovery tariff rates for all of my patients. Then please let us know that we can correct it and then link all of your tariffs to the correct prices. Now, also, if you have any contracts with the medical aid, it's important that you let GoodX know. Otherwise, your tariffs is going to be incorrect that you're charging to the patients. So you have your tariff rate and then your price list that is linked to that tariff rate. You can change this, but please remember, if you change it, this must be not be done every day, because then it means your setup is incorrect. It must be on a really important, or you have to have really important reasons why are you changing your price list to something else. Okay, rather make sure that your linking is correct, and we create more medical aids for you as to go and change the whole time between different types of price lists. Then you have your private invoice. So if this whole invoice, if the patient is on a medical aid, then the patient tells you, please don't send it to my medical aid, I will pay private. Then you click on the private, and all of the line items, the whole invoice will be as a private invoice. Then you have your estimate invoice. So if you want to make a quotation for this patient, I'm going to show you now how to do that. But then here you have your procedures. This is all of your procedures, so the whole list, and you have your materials, your medicine, and also the macros. Now, to do a billing, you go to the diagnose. You can choose it from the list, or either click on the the Eclipse, or otherwise you can just type in the ICD-10 code if you know it. The codes, you can then, if you don't know the codes, you can search for it, otherwise type it in. The quantity, yes, this is medical aid, for instance. Then if you want to say the authorization, you type in the authorization. If this is a PMI, then you click on the PMB, sorry, if it's a PMB, you click on the PMB and you put in the registration number that you received from the medical aid. If you want to add another line, you click on plus, you type in, for instance, needle. There's a needle, so I've used 2 needles on this patient. I've used a syringe. I've used only 1 syringe. I've used a web coil. I've used 5 web coils. I did do stitching. Stitch. Oh, sorry, that was a combination. We will come to that just a little bit, just after this example. You can just take this way. If you made a mistake on a line item, you just minus. Okay, let me put another one. Stitching of soft tissue. Then you did do a urine test on the patient twice, because the first one was was not correct. So here you add everything. You gave the patient let's say Panamore tablets. You gave the patient only 5 of them. You'll see the price will change to 5. You're going to say you gave the patient Voltaren injection. Let's see, where's the injection. There's the injection one, 5 milliliters. No, not 5 milliliters. You gave 1 vial, that is 3 milliliters. So here you build your invoice and you've created everything that you have given to the patient. You can also from here go to your easy events and then say, for instance, the general examination, diagnose, and you can say add to invoice. Now if you go back to your invoice, it have added the Voltaren that was on your general examination. And then what is important, if it's a private patient, you will only see the posted only. If it's a medical aid patient, you will have an extra arrow here that you can say post and wait for response. Now it's important, if you say post and wait for response, then it's going to bring back the response immediately for you to tell you this item has been paid, this item has been paid, this item has not been paid, okay, or has been approved by the medical aid. And then you have post and send later. Then you post it, but then you have to go later on a later stage and then send all of your claims. So if you only want to post and then send later, then you go to your clinical history, and we will come to that again. But then you go to your claims history and you then send all of them as a batch, okay? But the best option when you're working with medical aid patients, choose the post and wait, because immediately it will show you a response to tell you, okay, look here, it has been approved by the medical aid, and immediately you will know, okay, the Panamore is not going to be paid by the medical aid. The patient must pay private before the patient leaves your practice. Okay. Now, just to come back, say for instance the Panamore, the patient says, I'm going to pay my own Panamore. You can click on only that line, and that will post as a private. Okay. You will see here your invoice total, and then you say post only because this is a private patient. Otherwise you will say post and wait, and then the response will come up. Okay. Now if I do another invoice, let's do this one. Let's open this one just again. The patient has been treated. Okay, we're going to say invoice. Now what is really nice, if you have certain procedures that is always looking the same, say for instance stitching, you're using a certain, say for instance you're using 5 gauze, or you're using gauze, you're using the stitches, you're using the bandage, and you have a macro or a combination that is plus minus always the same. Then you can set up the combinations for you. Okay, so if you go to add procedures, here are the macros. You can see all of the macros that we have set up. I'm just going to choose one for now. If I click on it, I'm going to show you now after this how to set up your combination. Here we can see all of the items and the consultations and the procedures that is linked to this macro. So if I click on headaches, all of this is linked to the headache. If I click on migraine, all of this is linked to the migraine. So now I'm going to say save. There is all of your migraine information and all of the items that you have used on the patient. Now you've realized, oh, I didn't use 2 gloves, I only used 1 glove, so I'm going to say 1 glove. I used 5 wet gauze, and the Panamore I'm going to give the patient 50. Even if you have set up the macro, it's still not set in stone. You can still change it. You can see here, okay, but yes, I'm not going to give the Celebrex, so I'm just going to minus it. And then you say post only. So it's really nice if you set up the macros, because then you know the billing is going to go really quick. Okay, and then you can say post only. Now I'm going to say close. Yes, I want to discharge everything. I don't want to do this invoice. I want to show you how to set up your macro. So you go to settings. You go to billing settings. Then you go to macro settings. And you say add new macro. Now the first thing that you have is your new macro. So you will put in a code, so giving me a unique code that you know that you're going to know. So let's type flu 1 for instance, and we say the description is flu, and then it's linked to all service centers and it's linked to all doctors. You can link it to a certain doctor if they are doing certain procedures. You can link it to a doctor, or you can link it to a service center if you want to. Then you have your fixed or your choose. Now the fixed one is going to pull in all of the information or all the items that you have chosen or linked to this combination, and the chosen one will first give you a screen and you can choose which items in that combination that you use, and then you pull it into your screen. Okay, so let's make this one fixed, and then you say add billing items. Now you say that if you want to, you don't have to. If this macro is always linked to a certain diagnose, you can create a diagnose for this one. If this macro can be used in a lot of different types of diagnosis, you don't put in a diagnose, and when you do your billing, then you add your diagnose. Okay, so let's say it's a consultation 1, and only when you fill in this prices is when this combination or macro is a set price. So say for instance you have flu vaccines every year and you're asking 65 Rand for instance for a flu vaccine. You're going to say flu vaccine, a consultation fee, a syringe, 2 needles, a black needle, a green needle, a web collar and a flu vaccine. And then you're going to put in here a price and say 65 Rand and all of the other items 0, 0, 0, 0. Then you know that's a fixed price that you're going to charge every time when you use this combination. If you're not filling in any prices, then it will go back to the medical aid the patient is on or a private patient and use the correct prices as it is set up in the price list structure. Okay, so here you add it, you say add, we're going to say needle, add another one, syringe and needle. So here you build it. Okay, if you're finished you say save, and then the combination will be there. If you click on any one of your bookings and you say invoice and we say add procedure and go to macro, there is our flu one that we just created. Now we can build that. Yes, save. So we're going to say okay, that is all fine. Flu, and everything has been built in for us. Okay, so do you have any questions in connection with the macros or the billing? What is nice, I just need to show you the estimate. So if you put in all of this and you mark it as estimate, you will see you can only save and close. So if you save, the post button is gone now, so we're going to say save and close. And then if we go to this patient account and we say estimate invoices, there is all the estimate invoices that we have done on this patient. You can here view the estimate, it will show you all of the information of this estimate. Or otherwise, if you want to build the estimate, you click on this, click once, you say view or edit estimate, you take of the estimate tick and then you say post. Okay, let me just take the correct one, the fourth one, view an estimate, you take off the estimate tick and then you say post and wait response. Okay, then we are finished with the estimates. So is there any other questions around the billing? If there's no other questions, we're going to move on to the account details and also then your corrections on the billing before we finish with this section. Now, if we go to account details, if you stand on the patient and you say account details, everything that was done on this patient's account, so let's take this one and say account details. On the account details, you will see here the red line means this one has been credited, and if I click on one of the lines, you will have actions, you will have download invoice, view or edit invoice, you have your email invoices, journals, your credit notes, your you can shift it from patient to medical aid or otherwise from medical aid to patient, receipts, and then switch actions that you have. You have your switch responses, your invoice lines that you have on this invoice that you have done. So here is your account screen. You have your receipts, your journals, estimate invoices, your temporary invoices, and then also your notebook. Okay. So if we go to the invoices side and we've made a mistake on this invoice. Now there are two certain ways of correcting it. You can do a credit note to take off all of the information of this invoice and of this account, or otherwise you have a redo transaction. Now the important part is if you're working with medical aids, you first must always remember, reverse the claim first before you can do any corrections on that patient account. Okay, so you reverse it first from the medical aid. then we will show that in the next section, but I've made a mistake on this invoice and I've not put on my consumables, for instance. So now I'm going to click on it, click once, I'm going to say actions, view or edit invoice. I'm going to do a redo invoice. I'm going to reverse the invoice first because this is a private patient, it wasn't switched. Then I'm going to say reverse if it was a medical aid, reverse it. Then I'm going to say redo. It's going to ask you a reason, why are you redoing this? I'm going to say forget to add billing codes. Then I'm going to say OK. It's going to keep the information that I already put on the first one. I'm going to minus the urine because I didn't use the urine dipstick. I'm going to plus, I'm going to say here I've used a needle. I plus, I put in my flu combination. I say, I didn't use a needle biopsy, so I minus it. You change everything and then you say again, post and switch to the medical aid. Or otherwise, if it's a private patient, post only, and then it has been posted. A new invoice will be done, and the other one that was cancelled or redo will have a red line through it because it was cancelled. Okay, if you want to just take this invoice off, it was a fault, you did it onto the incorrect patient. Always remember, first reverse and then you click on credit note, give a reason, incorrect patient, okay, and there is the red line. Your credit note has been done. If you go back to your diary or your working list, if you want to call it like that, the I will show it is blue because there was an invoice done on this date. Okay, is there any questions that you want me to answer? If you're a new practice, is the code set on the system? Okay, we have a question that has come in. If you're a new practice, is the code set on the system? Yes, you have the whole list. So I'm just going to show you. If we go to the IM, not the IM, sorry. If we go to, I just want to see where it is again. Okay, so if you click on the booking and you say invoice, and you say add procedure. Here you will see the whole list of the procedures that is loaded. Now this list that is loaded for you is the list that, let me just take all of the others off. We don't want to see the macros, we only want to see the procedures. So here is the list that is already loaded according to your speciality. So if you're a GP, we will load the GP code list. If you are a surgeon, we will load a surgeon list depending on what type of surgeon you are. So yes, this code with the materials and the medicine we will load for you, and then the macros is the only one that you have to set up yourself. But the procedure codes, the consultation codes and the procedure codes, and also with the correct prices, and also the materials and the medicine we load for you. But with the macros we do not load that. You must create that by going to settings and then create billing settings and then create your own macros then for you. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Is there any other questions that you have that we must answer according to the billing or the macros or the estimate, or how to correct your billings, your invoices if it's incorrect. Please remember, you have two ways: redo transaction, so it's going to keep all of the information that you already done. You can add or delete if you want to, and then post it again and switch it back to the medical aid. Always remember, reverse first. And then you have your credit note, and that will just cancel the whole invoice, but please again reverse and then do your credit note. Okay. If there's no other questions that you have, we're going to close this section. The next section is going to start at 1:15 with the claim administration. Thank you for your time. We're going to take a lunch break now, so it's going to be a little bit longer than our 5 minutes break between each section. So please come back 1:15 and join us for the claim administration part. Thank you.